Good morning, good afternoon, and good day to all. Welcome to another edition of Homie Picks. It is, god damn, it's week 6 already. Feel like the season really just began, but week 6 already. We are in what our we have 55 days of consecutive football starting with the third. This is now this is now like 40 something days left. So fellas, how y'all doing? Ben, Lou, me, how you fellas, how y'all doing today?
Can't complain, man. It's going good, man. My Giants. Holy crap.
Mm.
Can we talk about, listen, I'm having a little faith. So I don't know what's going on. I think Dable coached his ass off last week, going into Seattle with the 12th man, abusing the playbook, the rule book. Uh, he got very high SET scores there. I can tell. So I'm doing good. Yankees win, Mets win. Knicks are looking good in the preseason, man. New York can't complain. Liberty's in the finals.
In the finals. Um, it may mess up your it may mess up your sacrificial stuff, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Ben, Ben, how you feeling, bro?
Pretty good. Like Lou said, the Yankees are in the playoffs, stepping to the next one. Unfortunately my Colts lost, so that's an honor for me, but not a great week for me last week, but that's the way it goes. But overall, I think it's been good, man. Can't complain.
Yeah, me and Lou tied 4-1 last week, and it came at different odds because how about them Cowboys?
And
But
listen,
at the same time, the Saints screwed me up. So, it is what it Y'all both laughed at my pick of the Cowboys, and look how that worked out. But
Man, I don't know what happened there. Maybe it's the rain delay or the thunderstorm delay, whatever the hell they want to call it.
hey, it could have been a combination of things. Either way, it happened. But we yeah. Last week we did talk about playoffs for MLB. Dodgers did win the series 3-2. Mets, I think that was Ben's pick. Ben
Yeah.
had that.
I want to see that
Mets,
Subway series, bro.
Mets smacked. They didn't even beat them. They smacked Philly
Yeah.
that entire series. Yankees advanced. And the Yankees continue to go to the NL to the AL Central because they just got another damn AL Central match. But hey, it is what it is. Hopefully, Ben, you do get your stuff right on Mets. I mean, I know it's a tough challenge, against LA, but
It's
you know,
tough, but they've been playing really well, so I would not be shocked.
so right quick, just do a MLB thing for everybody. Yankees Mets or Yankees Dodgers? Because we all going for Yankees. We know that, and we all know Judge has to wake the fuck up. But Yankees Mets, Yankees Dodgers. What are we doing?
Well, I mean, I had picked the Yankees Dodgers already, so I'll stick with that one. It's still a tough road for the Mets, but like I said, I would love to see that Subway series though.
No.
I think for me, Yankees Mets would be awesome because either way New York wins, we get a championship. But Major League Baseball and the rest of the world wants Otani versus Judge in the World Series. So I think they're on a collision course. I mean, LA doesn't really look scary though. I mean, pitching wise, I don't. If I'm the Mets, I'm glad I got the Dodgers versus San Diego because San Diego is playing crazy right now. So yeah, I'm pushing for Mets Yankees World Series, but Yankees Dodgers would be great too. A classic, team, two classics going at it. So whichever way we slice it, Yankees better win.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Ben's original hope. So I'm gonna go Yankees Mets. Just for the hell of it. Like I thought San Diego really had that. That's why I had faith in them going into the playoffs. They let me down. It's all good. I'm gonna do Homer's town. So yeah, New York versus New York. I don't care. Hopefully, the Liberty do bounce back against that game one loss.
Yeah,
And
that
when
was a tough one.
it was tough, and win the series. The series should wrap up by the time week 7 comes. Well, it will wrap up by the time week 7 comes, so we'll have a recap on that one. But on to football. Uh, let's talk about it. Jags, Bears. 1.5 point favorite. The Bears are 1 negative 118. 44 and a half over under. Um, my mighty Bears. But let's see, Ben, help you give the schneid. How do you see this one going down?
Well, I mean, like you said, Bears are a favorite. I mean, they've been playing good defensively. That's really what's been keeping them in there. And Caleb's finding a little bit of a groove. He's getting better. But at the same token, I feel it hasn't been against the greatest competition yet. I mean, they've just been average to below average teams that they've beaten on. I do believe there's some injuries on the Bears side on the defensive. So that's gonna hurt them. And I don't know, there's something about Jacksonville and London. Trevor, like Trevor Lawrence just doesn't seem to lose over there for some reason. Maybe he feels really at home over there. Um, they did just beat my Colts. I mean, it wasn't like something that he did that was like wow or anything, but I feel like maybe he will gain momentum off this. And again, I feel he's very comfortable in London. I'm gonna go with the underdogs here and take the Jags. I think they pull this one off.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with Ben. I mean, playing in London does something different for Jacksonville. It's like a home game for them. I think they got better support in London than they do actually Jacksonville,
Probably.
which is crazy. Um, and I like they're recommitting to the running game, and Tank's Bigsby has been a big part of that. I think Travis Etienne is taking a step back, which was crazy where he was drafted in fantasy purposes. Um, I'm gonna roll with Ben on this and take Jacksonville to upset at home. I think this is one of those games that resets Chicago and they come back down to earth, and they are who we thought they were all the time. So yeah, I'm rolling with the Jags on this one.
something about Trevor Lawrence reconnecting with his Anglo-Saxon roots, I guess. Being,
Probably.
being in England. I do see y'all, on the Jags pick. Um, I just also think DJ Moore has been going off, and Caleb has been finding some strides. The Bears running game has also been pretty good to help put off that little pressure off Caleb. And granted, yes, it hasn't been the greatest competition. But I mean, I think you know what? I'm gonna go with my old NFC North champs, man. They on Super Bowl shuffle in London. Nah, yeah, I want to go. I'm gonna go Chicago. I'm gonna go Chicago. I think it's a tight line. I think it's a good line. For some reason, Jacksonville, I felt should have had 3 wins by now. To not is kind of absurd for me. I think they're a better team than what they really are. But I think I think it's a good test for Chicago. It's going to be a little different for the rookie to play in another country. That's something that Jacksonville does definitely has the experience on. Getting used to the time zone, and even though even though it's a time zone difference and players come and go and so forth like that. Jacksonville definitely does have that experience on that, and definitely playing in another area like that. And that's something that's going to be a good acclimation for a few players on Chicago. But we'll see what happens. I'm still going to go with Chicago in this one. I think they'll slug it out. It's going to be a low scoring game, I think, also. Like a 12-15 type kind of ordeal, I think.
I
But
can see that.
moving on to game two, man, I'm going to hate myself after this pick. But Washington, Baltimore, Washington, Baltimore. Um, Baltimore is a 6.5 point favorite, and that scares the shit out of me. Negative 300, 51 and a half over under. Um, mm. Lou, how do you see this one going?
Listen, I am not picking against Derrick Henry. The guy has been a beast. He's been a touchdown machine. Whenever they needed yards or whenever they needed a big play, he stepped up. I think you ride the coattails of him. Uh, I like the spread. I mean, the Commanders, it's the Commanders are playing phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. Jaden Daniels is balling out as a rookie. I just think if Baltimore controls the clock in this game with the run game, there's no stopping them. And Mark Andrews is due for a breakout game to catch a ball, do something. He's due. He's 6 weeks late,
Big
you know. So let's see. Hopefully this is his game, but I'm not picking against Baltimore until they give me a reason to.
Ben?
Yeah, I mean, Lou brings up some valid points. Henry has been great for them so far. I mean, both of these teams have suspect defenses right now. I mean, they can't seem to stop anybody. So I do see it's going to be a pretty high scoring game. They both can score, so probably is a good bet to go in the over there.
Definitely.
But I don't know. Right now, Baltimore just came off that win, beating Cincy, a big emotional win. I feel like this is a good spot for a little bit of a letdown, take their foot off the gas just enough and be surprised by the Commanders here. And yeah, I'm gonna go with the upset here. I think the Commanders squeak out a win here. Like I said, I think it's just, the circumstances, that big game they just won. I think it's gonna be a tight game, but I think maybe the Commanders edge them out. I would definitely bet the points. I don't think one team's gonna beat the other by more than a touchdown. So yeah, but I'll take the Commanders here.
Man, I kind of give a spoiler to how I was feeling, when I said I'm gonna hate myself after this pick. But um, but let's just go through the emotions of it at least. I think Jaden Daniels is definitely going to be the rookie of the year by far. I think run away. The way he's playing right now, if he keeps this up, he's unstoppable. Kid sky's limit. I mean, he's going off. I mean, and this is a really good rookie class that he's in. I mean, with likes like Marvin Harrison Jr. and but it's he's killing them. Washington is looking like an offensive juggernaut, and that's something we haven't seen from Washington shit ever. Like
Yeah.
I can't remember
I,
last time I've seen Washington actually look like an offensively stout team. Usually they're just defensive minded and they just try to slug out the games, but there's
Yeah, the
nothing that's
Redskins. That's when it was. I'm on the Redskins.
and that's when that was before and that was a long time ago with the
Yep.
Redskins too.
shoot. I think I
Like
was
this is
probably a
probably like
toddler, maybe.
yeah, it looks like Doug Williams. Looks like Doug Williams Redskins times. Like Jesus Christ. Um like this not a throw and it's not a play that this kid cannot make.
No.
Um, like he's definitely gonna make Washington a scary team, and that's not good news for the Giants, already in competition with with luckily a struggling Dallas team, but also a Philadelphia team. But now you kind of have this ascension of Washington. Um, you know, Baltimore King Henry came through when it mattered. Because up until that last was shit 57, 60 something run, a yard run that he only had 38 yards up until that point. Like Henry was gonna stop. Cincinnati was on it, and thank God, like when Lamar fumbled it, and thank God they missed that field goal, and we came back with that. I mean, yeah, that was a very emotional win. Um, um, Marlon Humphrey. I think that's the thing about Baltimore. They get to the quarterback though. That's one thing about them. No matter who's playing, no matter who's that front seven, Kyle Hamilton is a monster. Every time that he will always find a way to get a sack. Marlon Humphrey has to do what he has to do and just contain as best as he can. Um, it's definitely going to be over 51 points. Um, it it I'm it literally took me until 5 seconds ago for me to say I'm going to go Baltimore because up until this point I really was leaning Washington the entire time. I agonized over this because I still think Washington is still I think they still can win the game. I still believe Washington may win this game. So this may be one of those things where I flip flop on, but I must say Baltimore just because they are my team. The last time I did play against them, they embarrassed me. So you know, um, so I'm gonna say Baltimore. If I lose in that pick, so be it. I did lose on New Orleans last week. So hey, it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I think Washington is going to be an exceptional team. I think they're going to be scary at this rate. They're going to be a really good team to go against, and that's saying a lot with a rookie back there. I pray next year, he doesn't get into one of those sophomore, slumps. because teams start to figure you out a little bit more and so forth. But as long as while we're still going with this season, this kid's going to be elite, and I hope he cooks still. I just hope he don't cook too good. It is
Don't cook your team.
just cook too good, like just temper your, instead of having the stove on high, have it like on low, like low medium. you know. Um, Next up, the team that helped me get to 4-0 last week, the Dallas Cowboys are hosting the Detroit Lions, um, which that was a slugfest with Dallas and Pittsburgh. But currently, right now, the Lions are favorite as they should be, 3-point favorite, negative 176, 52 and a half over under. Um, yeah, Dallas, Dak Prescott, especially, has he's a flash in the pan type personality. Um, where I mean they were throwing all over the field last week, and they still what was it? They had Dallas was lucky to win that game, but they had 3 turnovers and still won that. Pittsburgh had none, and they still won that game. Like you would think with something like that, that should be a runaway, but it wasn't. Um, Dallas has potential to be good offensively, defensively, even without Michael Parsons. And granted, this was a last week game against TJ Watt, who was killing them. Um, you know, without Michael Parsons, Dallas still did what they had to do to contain and get through that game. Do I see that happening this week? No. I think Detroit is a way better team than Pittsburgh ever is. Um, even though Detroit has been not that elite as I thought they would have been this year, um, still, I still think Detroit is a way better team than Pittsburgh is. On both sides of the ball, I think Detroit gets this one. I think 3 points is kind of fair, but I kind of see this being a touchdown, Detroit by a touchdown. Um, Ben, how you see this one going?
Yeah, like you said, Dallas got kind of lucky there to get away with that win with against Pittsburgh. Cost me some something there, but um yeah, I mean I get the points. I mean Dallas is at home. Typically Dallas is a good team at home, but yeah, I have to go with Detroit here. I mean Detroit coming off a bye, extra time to prepare. Dallas just went through this tough game with Pittsburgh, and Detroit has a really good line, and Hutchinson can get after that quarterback. I think he's gonna make Dak uncomfortable. I don't see that repeat performance of their running game because that just not it. I just don't trust their running backs at all. That I think that was just a fluke kind of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Detroit. I think Detroit wins this one. Like you said, I think it's probably by a touchdown, but I think they're just giving Dallas the respect just because typically they are a better team at home. But yeah, I see Detroit winning and covering this one. Like I said, too much time to prepare. They have a really good lines, both defense and offensively. So yeah, I like Detroit.
Ooh, I know you're
Three
hoping that.
amigos on this one because I ain't picking the Cowboys for nothing in the whole goddamn world. That's ever gonna happen. I like Detroit's running backs in this game. And you got two very dynamic running backs, I think, that have been underutilized so far this year. I think they've relied heavily on the pass, and we haven't had a breakout game from Gibbs or Singletary yet. So I think it's due. And then Sam Laporta hasn't had a big game either. He's been non-existent, same way Mark Andrews has. So Dallas does give a lot of points up to the tight end. So let's see how they utilize Laporta, and like Ben said, an extra week to prepare and get your mind right. Aiden Hutchinson runs like Waluigi, but he gets it done. Um, he always looks like he's chasing Mario. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm taking Detroit. I think that was a flash in the pan, definitely by Dallas. I think the rain delay helped them. I mean, just get set and for that game, and extra time always helps. So I'm rolling with you guys. I'm taking Detroit to definitely to cover these 3 points.
It's funny before we get to the next game. Anybody see that whole back and forth with the city of Detroit Twitter and
No.
Amon Ra? Uh,
No,
yeah, like there's basically like because the three brothers, they all play, in the league and so forth, and one used to be on Detroit, and you know, because they were talking about how they weren't in the top 25 of cities, whatever, and I think which brother was in Detroit? Was it Amon or
I'm
uh
still at Detroit.
Yeah, he's still in
still there,
Detroit.
right? Still there, right? So,
He's
oh no, it was the brother in Green Bay, who was saying something about nobody will ever want to play in Detroit. And then they kind of had a picture of the other cities that they played in, the other ones played in. And it was saying something like there was kind of like a back and forth, basically saying um that don't be mad that like don't be mad that we're actually a good like that we're a good city and that we're better than y'all. And then it was saying something about, well, maybe then I think his comeback was like, well, maybe y'all crack the next, the top 25 next year. And it was like, and maybe you be in another team next year. It was kind of a funny back and forth. So it was like Detroit's kind of petty, but I fuck with it. um, but to the West Coast, another 4 o'clock game. Chargers, Broncos. Broncos have been surprising, somewhat surprising this year. Even more surprising the Chargers record, but um, but right now the Chargers are a 3-point favorite. Negative 154, 35.5 point over under. Uh, Low scoring. It's probably the thing. It's the lowest scoring that we can. One of the lowest scoring games of the week. That for the over unders. Um, Ben, what you thinking about this one? I know you had no dog in this fight, but
Yeah, no dog in this fight, but I mean, Denver's defense is really, really what's kept them in a lot of these games. That defense is tough, 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 tough defense for sure. Um, Bo Nix, he's been hit or miss rookie, sometimes he hits, sometimes he doesn't. Like he had a good game against the Bucks, he had a horrible game the next two games versus the Jets, and I forget who else they played, barely scoring any points. Um, but yeah, I have to go Chargers with this one here. Again, another team coming off the bye, Harbaugh extra time to prepare. Um, Harbaugh does good against rookie quarterbacks. Justin Herbert getting healthier, their line getting healthier. I believe they get Edwin James back from suspension, so that defense gets a little bit more stout. Definitely probably be a low scoring game. But I feel like Harbaugh is just gonna, do what he does, run the ball till that defense gets tired. Eventually that defense will tire away, and I think Herbert can take advantage of that later on in the second half. Yeah, I like the Chargers here. I mean, Broncos has been winning it with the defense. I just don't think that's 100% sustainable for now. So I'll go with the Chargers.
I think if anybody watched that Chargers Pittsburgh game, you might be in for the same kind of game. Um, Denver defensively is just killing it. What Sertain had I felt like this is like his second or third 100 yard return, interception return. Um,
Probably.
like because it seems like every time there's a long freaking interception return, it's usually Sertain. Um, I I think the Chargers are a better team by far. They're just not playing like a better team. And that's kind of what scares me about this game. Yeah, Bo is new. Um, Peyton, Sean Payton, he has his team playing. What can I say? Denver's playing well. Um, Harbaugh may not have the ear of everybody in that locker room yet. And that's maybe, and it could be that, it could be injuries. Then that's what's holding back Chargers from being a better team than they should be. But until they show me that they can actually put a full game together, I'm actually going to go with Denver on this one. I think Denver pulls this one out. I think it's gonna be another defensive battle where they do come together, and I would not be hella surprised if Herbert throws a couple pick sixes in this game. Um, Lou, what you thinking?
Yeah, so these are literally the two lowest scoring teams in the NFL right now going at it. So yeah, I'm definitely expecting a low one of those 15-12 kind of games from these two. But I'm rolling with Denver surprisingly in this one. I think when it comes down to it, I think I trust Sean Payton more than Harbaugh coaching the last couple seconds of a tight game. And Denver's defense has shown to step up when they needed it the most. And if they don't get interceptions, they put their offense in short field opportunities, leading to those field goals and those short windows for Bo Nix. So I'm taking Denver, and I'm just riding on the strength that collectively, individually, they're ugly, but collectively, they make it work. So I'm rolling with that energy going into this game.
It's a good energy to have. Good energy
Team
to
effort. Team effort.
have. She may not be the best looker, but she
But
does put a good. She has a good meal. She puts
yeah,
together a good
she
meal.
puts in good work. She puts in a good
She
work.
has good personality. All right, everybody, that's the show for today. Have a good one. All right, now we gotta go to the last game. Last game. Lou's sacrifice is not looking like a sacrifice anymore. Cincinnati and New York Football Giants. Ah, man. Cincinnati is the favorite, 3.5 points. Negative 198, 46.5 over under. Um, Ben, this guy said that this team was going to go on forever, sacrifice them for the Knicks. I
Yankees.
don't know. I'm going to talk to Ben right now. Like,
I,
yeah,
I I remember saying that they're not as bad. They were gonna get a couple of wins here and there.
and they got a couple wins here and there. So, Ben, do you think this is another win that's going to be here and there?
Unfortunately, I don't think they win this one. I don't think they win this one. I have to go with Cincinnati here. Cincinnati is the better team offensively, at least. I believe Neighbors is still out. So I don't think he's gonna play. So that really hurts them. I know the Giants are at home. The defense has been playing well, but Cincinnati's offense have been putting up points, and I just don't think the Giants will be able to keep up points for point. So really, that's really it for me. It's just that the offensive firepower of Cincinnati is just better. Joe Burrow is playing well, just their defense has been letting them down. So they've lost some games that they should have won. But right now they're desperate. They only have one win, so I really feel like that defense might come out and play with their hair on fire and take advantage of Danny Dimes a little bit, make him look a little worse than he probably is playing. Yeah, I have to go with Cincy just because that's the firepower of the offensive side right now, particularly because Neighbors is out.
Sunday night firepower. Cincinnati came alive last week. Actually, Cincinnati has come alive the past couple weeks. You know, and but it came at the cost of elite competition. I mean, really good competition. Because I still suspect about KC. I'm still suspect about my own team, Baltimore Ravens. But with those kind of names on a moniker, I think that's what made them come alive. Especially against a rival team that you hate for shit. So, which that was a very entertainingly high scoring game. Uh, but I think you come down the same way how you had that emotional win, it was emotional win for the Ravens, it was emotional loss for the Bengals. I think this is kind of where the Giants kind of come into this one. Nobody thought the Giants, Lou definitely didn't think the Giants were going to be shit this year. Um, Nobody thought they would have went to Seattle, and won that game without their star rookie wideout. And yet things have happened. Um, and for that, I do think the Giants squeaked this one out. So I'm actually going to go Giants on this one. It's not just because I'm not a Bengals fan. It's not because they're in my division. I promise it's not because of that. I've clearly picked against my own team. So I mean, the only team I would not pick is more than like 99% of the time is Pittsburgh. That's the team I would never pick against. I would never pick for. Um, Maybe in a really awkward situation, I had to do that. But look, I picked against my own team. So let's not say that I'm picking against them because of that. I just think the Giants can actually win this one. Prime time, Danny Dimes. Let's see if he actually does something during prime time. It's a Sunday night football game. It's gonna be fun. Um, I do find it funny that both New York teams are on prime time this week, Sunday night and Monday night. But you
It
know,
happens more often than you know. It happened last year too.
it does. It did. It does have more
It
often.
was a
It's
reverse though.
just true, true, and also not as eventful in terms of drama. But that's another story for another day. Um, Lou, do you see your team being a
So
sacrifice, or they're going to win it?
so I'll be at this game. I am going to this game. I will be there. I'll be repping my Giants blue. I don't know. Part of me wants to jinx them, part of me doesn't. Like it's such a weird place to be when you want your team to suck and they don't. Um, it's absolutely crazy. But I'm gonna roll with the Giants on this one. I think they ride that momentum coming back from Seattle. Um, Dayball, chalk it up to him because he coached a hell of a game. You know, the offense was on point. The running game was beyond what I didn't expect. It was tremendous. I think the running game really kept them in the game for the most part of it, and then the defense stepped up when they needed it. So I think Cincinnati's playing for their season this game. Um, they can't afford another loss, but I think the Giants come out swinging, and I think they hold their own. And it's going to be a late kind of field goal kind of win kind of game, last possession kind of ish game. But I'm looking forward to it. I'll be in the stands watching this game.
That's dope. I'm happy to hear that. I need to make it to Baltimore to watch my team play against somebody. Last time I went to a Baltimore game, it was against the 49ers, and we won that game.
Well,
My
they play the
fault.
Giants too. They come to MetLife.
What week is that?
Don't quote me. Hold on.
I know my team is coming to town. They're gonna play both Giants and Jets.
Down for a game. Either I'm down for all those games actually. Whether it be Colts, because
Right,
I've
December
never seen.
15th, a 1 o'clock game.
Oh, we can make that work. December 15th, I can make that work for sure. Um, but hell, and that's a shorter drive than going to Baltimore. Um,
Well, for you,
for me, for you, that's just as long as we
Baltimore's
go.
45 minutes from me.
Just as long as we get enough going to use. But yeah, I mean, the Colts game I'm good for too. Whether it be Colts, Jets, Colts, Giants, I'm down for those kind of games. I'm not averse to going to MetLife. I kind of like it in Jersey. Um, and if it's a 1 o'clock game, um, it's a nice burger spot in Hackensack I like going to also. So, and they ain't paying me to say their name, so I ain't gonna say their name. But,
That's right.
but but yeah. So, before we wrap up and go, um, question to y'all: did Aaron Rodgers get Robert Saleh fired, or
Yeah.
did
I feel like he didn't say it, but he kind of insinuated it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Listen, if
he
the
was
owner
like, "Don't
calls
get rid
you
of
the
my boy."
night before, yes, you were in on it.
Yeah, I feel like he's like, "Don't get rid of my boy." That's it. Like whatever you do, don't get rid of my boy. So what do you take it as like, "I'll fire Salah." So that was just messed up. Like he just went to the office, "Hey, you gotta go." Security like that. That's just wrong. Like, but they did him dirty. I feel like again, Salah's not the greatest head coach, but he is a good defensive mind. That defense was playing well for them, and
Yeah.
we'll see how that works out for them. But typically, historically, getting rid of your coach in the middle of the season just doesn't work out.
Doesn't work
So
out. Yeah, absolutely. I think it came down
so?
to they needed to make a statement. They can't fire Aaron Rodgers. Even though he cost them the game with three interceptions, they had to make a statement. And I think Robert Saleh was that sacrificial lamb. I think he rubbed Aaron the wrong way when he was like in off season, Aaron Rodgers has an unexcused absence. Like I think that was the tipping point. Um,
Probably.
yeah, I think Aaron was like, I'm gonna remember that. We gonna address that. Um, but yeah, I mean, let's see what Ulbrich does. I mean, he's talking the right way. I mean, he took the offensive power away from Hackett, which
That's
funny enough is
wild,
what Robin Saleh wanted to do anyway, which is
right?
crazy.
That's the wild part. Look, who has a better job than Hackett, bro? Like, what's he
Yeah,
doing now? Just rah and Aaron going
yeah.
playing,
Well,
drinking with him.
supposedly Hackett is the one in Aaron's ear, and he's giving Aaron's three plays every time they talk on the radio. Like how three plays in 15 seconds is
Yeah.
wild. That's way too much. So let's see if they take a bunch of that stuff out and go quick and some more motions because they're looking very, very stagnant on offense. They're looking lost.
Yeah, Rogers got him fired. Definitely got him fired. And honestly, it's the most Jet thing that could probably happen. As much it's funny because it's been a year of it's the most giant thing that can happen.
Right. And the
It's the
Giants
most
look better
Jet,
than the Jets right now,
Sure, for sure.
which
who
is
would have thought that?
crazy.
Like, what was that? What was the Paul Rudd or Hot Ones? Look at us, look at us,
Look at
man.
us.
Yeah.
Look at
Look
us.
at us.
Look
Look
at
at
us.
us. This is what that is.
Right.
Um, you know, um, let's just see how the rest of this one unfolds.
I'll
But
just
I
like to
definitely think,
add, I'll just like to add my saying Rodgers looks like an average QB has aged pretty well right now.
now is not the time to gloat, Ben. But gloat after Monday when the Bills ripped them to shreds.
Yeah.
Because the fact that the Jets just look pathetic. They can't score much. I mean, you can't say you're tanking or you're throwing the game because of Salah. Like to lose that game against Denver the way they did is inexcusable. Um, so I definitely think Buffalo should rip them to shreds, but who the hell knows? It's a weird ass season. Um, but until then, until week 7, we wish everybody health and if anybody's going through anything, with the hurricanes in Florida, could shout, my heart goes out to everybody in Florida. That shit is rough. Um, with Milton coming through and so forth, after just going through the last couple things. So, um, this show is about entertainment. We hope we can bring a smile to anybody's out there in Florida watching this game. We hope we can bring you entertainment, some kind of joy, some kind of laughter. And until next week, until week 7, stay safe, y'all. Like, share, subscribe. Tell us we're right, tell us we're wrong. Um, am I right for wanting Washington to actually win this game? Who knows? But Lou, enjoy the game, and we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.